Hey everyone, so AI, right? It's like everyone's talking about it, but sometimes it feels like you need a whole new vocabulary just to keep up.
Right.
Like, what does it actually mean for small businesses? Not some Silicon Valley tech giant, but like you and me trying to run a business out here in the real world.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to dive into that today. Look at how AI is changing the game for small businesses.
Yeah.
And to help us unpack this whole thing, we're taking a cue from an episode of the WebTechFeed podcast.
Okay.
They had a great conversation with, let me see, with Olivia. She's like a hack to marketing guru.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark, who's a small business strategist.
Cool.
And don't worry, we're not going to like rehash the whole episode. We just want to pull out those like really actionable nuggets, those golden nuggets you can actually put to work in your business.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, like, one of the things that really struck me when I was, listening to this podcast was just how accessible AI has become.
Yeah.
It's not just for those big companies with massive budgets anymore.
Totally. It used to be that way. But what really struck me is how even the smallest businesses can now actually leverage the power of AI. And we're not talking about like some far-off future here. This is happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the most, I think, exciting areas where we see this happening is in how AI can actually help you build those really strong personal connections with your customers, which, has always been, I think, the secret sauce for small businesses, right? That personal touch.
It is.
But it's like gotten so much harder in this whole digital age.
Yeah. How do you stand out in someone's inbox when they're getting bombarded with like a million messages a day?
Exactly. And this is where AI comes in.
Yeah, tell me more.
Okay, so imagine this. It's Tuesday morning, Raymount, and you get this notification on your phone. It's from your favorite local coffee shop, the one you always go to.
Okay, I like where this is going.
And they're offering you like a personalized discount, not just like a generic 10% off, but something tailored to you. Maybe a discount on your usual oat milk latte, just timed perfectly for when you usually grab your coffee.
Okay.
That's the power of these AI-driven CRMs.
The CRMs.
Yeah, those customer relationship management systems you've probably heard of, like HubSpot or Salesforce.
Yeah.
They use AI to basically analyze your preferences, like what you buy, when you buy it, and they create these hyper-personalized offers that feel less like a sales pitch and more like, a friendly reminder.
It's like, hey, we know you. We know what you like. Here's a little something special just for you.
Exactly.
So instead of just blasting out these generic promotions to like your entire email list,
Yeah.
you can tailor messages that are actually going to resonate with each individual customer.
Exactly. That's what creates those, like, how did they know that moments that turn one-time buyers into loyal customers.
And I would imagine those loyal customers are the ones who become like your raving fans.
Oh, absolutely. They tell their friends, they leave good reviews, they become like walking billboards for your business.
Exactly. Word of mouth is like the best marketing.
It really is.
Okay, so we've got the coffee shop example.
Yeah. Think about a bookstore recommending books based on your past purchases. Or an online clothing store suggesting accessories that, complement your style.
Right. Things you might actually like, not just random stuff.
It's about making each customer feel seen and understood. That's something that AI can now help you do on a whole new level.
It's like having this team of like invisible marketing assistants working behind the scenes, but without having to actually like hire a whole team and like manage payroll and all that.
Exactly. It takes a lot off your plate.
Which is a beautiful thing.
It is.
Especially when you're a small business owner. And that brings us to like, okay, another pain point that I know I have felt as a small business owner, it's like customer service, right? You want to be there for your customers like 24/7, answering every question, solving every problem.
Right.
But that is a recipe for burnout.
It is. Especially when you're a small team.
Especially when you're also the one like packing the orders and like designing the website.
Exactly. And that's where AI can really step in and be super helpful. Those times like late at night, you get that email from a customer, like a panicked email with an urgent question.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, I got to answer this before they like totally freak out. AI chatbots
Okay.
can be a game changer for that.
Okay.
So imagine like having this assistant who's working 24/7 can answer those frequently asked questions, can maybe even qualify leads or schedule appointments. So even when you are off the clock, your customers still feel heard, still feel seen.
Okay, but can I just like interject here for a second?
Yeah.
Because I've had some like really bad experiences with chatbots, and I'm always like, are we talking about those like clunky chatbots that sound like they were programmed by like a robot hamster?
Right.
Because I feel like those can actually scare customers away.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, the early versions of chatbots definitely left something to be desired,
Yeah.
but the AI that's powering them now has come a long way.
Hmm.
We're talking about like sophisticated algorithms that can understand like natural language. They understand the context of a conversation. They can even understand sentiment, like if someone's getting frustrated.
Wow.
And they can learn from each interaction to provide like increasingly more helpful, more personalized responses.
Okay, so it's not just like spitting out canned answers anymore. These AI assistants can
Mhm.
actually like have a real conversation with a customer.
Absolutely. And here's the best part. While the chatbot is handling those more routine inquiries, you're freed up to focus on the things that require your unique human touch.
Right, like actually talking to a human.
Exactly. Or like, crafting that killer marketing campaign or
Yeah.
connecting with your community on social media.
Speaking of social media,
Okay, yeah.
that's another area where I feel like AI can be like a lifesaver
Hmm.
because let's be honest, creating engaging content day after day after day, it's like a full-time job in itself.
It really is.
And like the content monster is always hungry, right?
Oh,
And it
where?
needs to be fed with like blog posts and social media updates and website copy. And who has time for all of that when you're trying to like run a business?
Right. And it's not just about churning out content for the sake of it. It's got to be good. It's got to grab people's attention, provide value, keep them coming back for more. And this is where AI can really lend a hand. Like, think of it as your brainstorming partner, helping you overcome writer's block, helping you fine tune your SEO.
Okay, so you're talking about those AI writing tools that I've been hearing about, the ones that can supposedly write like anything from blog posts to ad copy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be honest, part of me is very intrigued and part of me is slightly terrified.
Yeah, I understand. It's
They're
understandable.
just like, is it going to take my job?
Right?
Is it going to steal my voice? What's going to happen?
It's understandable to feel wary because writing is such a personal thing, right?
Okay.
But here's the key with AI writing tools. They're most effective when they're used as creative assistants, not replacements.
Okay.
They're not here to replace you.
Got it.
They're here to help you.
Okay. So like, it's like having like an AI intern
Yeah.
who can help me with the first draft, but I like the human, the expert, still get final approval.
Exactly. You're the one calling the shots.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about how that works. Like, what does that actually look like in practice?
Yeah.
Like, I give the AI a few keywords, maybe like a rough outline of what I want to say, and it just spits out like a bunch of different options.
Exactly. Think of it like, let's say you're launching a new line of those handcrafted candles.
Okay.
You give the AI tool some info about each scent, maybe who you're trying to sell it to, like the target audience, the whole vibe,
Mm-hmm.
and it can generate all these different product descriptions, highlighting, like what makes each candle special.
Okay, so that makes sense, but then I also worry about like sounding too generic.
Right.
Like if everybody's using these AI tools to write their website copy and their product descriptions,
Sure.
is everything going to start to sound the same?
Yeah, and that's definitely a risk, but that's where your human touch is still so important.
Okay.
Think of the AI output as like, I don't know, a starting point. It's like a lump of clay. You still have to mold it, shape it into something that really reflects your brand, your personality.
Right. So I can add like those little quirks,
Exactly.
like those personal anecdotes, like those details that only I as the business owner would know to include.
Exactly. Like the AI can get the information down. It can do a lot of that heavy lifting.
Mm.
But you're the one who injects it with your voice, your humor, your passion, all those things that make you.
Yeah, that make my business unique.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. So it's like a collaboration, not like the robots are taking over kind of thing.
Exactly. And speaking of collaboration, let's talk about how AI can actually partner with you to make smarter marketing decisions overall.
Okay.
Because, we hear this phrase all the time now,
Mm-hmm.
data-driven marketing.
Yes.
But it can feel like you need a PhD just to even understand what that means.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like I'm great at making candles, but spreadsheets and data analysis,
Right.
not my zone of genius.
Exactly. And you don't have to be a data scientist. AI can actually help demystify all of that data. It can take all those numbers and turn them into insights that you can actually use. So, for example, let's say you're running a Facebook ad campaign for your online store.
Okay.
And you think you're targeting the right people, but, your gut feeling only gets you so far.
Right, right.
This is where AI can say, hey, you know what? Your ads are actually performing best on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 6:00 p.m. and 8:00 p.m.
Wow.
And by the way, your target audience, they really love those videos that show product demos.
That's incredibly specific.
Exactly. Like how?
That's the power of AI. It
Mhm.
can spot those patterns, those connections that we might miss as humans, and it can help you really refine those marketing campaigns. You're not just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks.
Right.
You can use that data to figure out exactly what your customers want and how to reach them.
Okay, this has been eye-opening. We've covered personalized customer interactions. We talked about those AI chatbots. We talked about AI helping us create content, and now data-driven marketing.
Yeah.
It feels like AI could be a complete game changer for small businesses, but I imagine it can also feel really overwhelming.
Oh, for sure.
Where do I even start? There's so much out there.
And the best advice that I took away from that WebTechFeed podcast was start small.
Okay,
Don't feel like you have to do everything at once.
right?
Pick one thing, one area where you're like, you know what? I think AI could really make a difference for me here, and just experiment.
I love that. Start small, experiment, find what works for you. Don't be afraid to kind of dip your toes into this world of AI. It's here to help, not to take over the world. And on that note, we'd love to hear from you. What's one area of your business where you could imagine AI lending a helping hand? Head over to our social media and share your thoughts. Until next time, happy